And Samkela, I imagine quite a government program in place now, just less than 2 hours before Mugabe's remains arrive there.
Yes, indeed, Tembegile. It's a rather low-key event here at the Robert Mugabe International Airport. I'm just going to ask my colleague Lingendababe just to show you pockets of mourners that have gathered here to celebrate and to receive the remains of the former president of Zimbabwe, Robert Mugabe. You can also see the military drill that's currently taking place here at the airport. We are told that they have just left the Seychelles and should be here in Harare in about two and a half hours time. You can also see the flag of Zimbabwe flying half-mast over there, Tembegile. We also do know that the president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa, will be here at the airport to receive the remains of the former president of Zimbabwe. That would be Robert Mugabe. As you can see, our colleague Lingendabe also showing you the visuals of the police officers that are also here to ensure that there is maximum security and police and order here at the Robert Mugabe International Airport. Almost said OR Tambo International Airport there.
So I'm going to take us through then what is going to happen between today, when the remains of Robert Mugabe land at that airport named after him, all the way to his burial on Sunday.
The program is that Tembegile, after he arrives here, or the remains arrive here at the Robert Mugabe International Airport, his remains will go to Zimba, his home village, where he spent a significant amount of his time. Then it will come back to Harare and go to a public viewing area at the Pharaoh Stadium here in this particular city. And then on Saturday, it will be the official funeral that will take place at the sports stadium, where the inaugurations take place in Harare. And then Sunday, that will be the official burial of Robert Mugabe. It's not yet clear where he will be buried. Either he'll be buried in Zimba or Heritage Acre, where all liberation icons and those who play a significant role in the administration or government or heritage of Zimbabwe, their remains are buried. So it's not yet clear where he will be buried. The local chiefs of Zimba village will decide where his remains will be, but he will also go to his official residence here in Harare. That would be the Blue Roof House, where he lived when he was in the city, Tembegile. But the official funeral on Saturday, which the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, will be leading the government delegation and the governing party delegation of our country, will be there at that particular funeral service alongside other African presidents. We do expect the former president of Zambia as well, Kenneth Kaunda, who may be making his way to Zimbabwe to pay his final respects of one of the founding fathers of the Zimbabwean freedom in the post-independence, when they gained independence in 1980. He was obviously the first and founding prime minister of this country. That would be the late Robert Mugabe.
Samkela, the confusion about where Robert Mugabe will be buried has dragged on now for about 4 days or so. Why is it that there's still no final word on where he will be buried?
There's still no final word, Tembegile, because in what Leo Mugabe said, the family spokesperson of the Mugabe family, he said that the chiefs will decide. They have decided, and they have not yet communicated on where he will be buried. So there are conflicting views on this particular matter, and as there is a perspective that he must and should be buried in Zimba, as he is the rightful chief of that particular area, but couldn't take up the chieftaincy because of his role of being the president of the country. Then there is another perspective from the ZANU-PF side and from the government side that he should be buried at Heritage Acre, where all liberation icons of this country are laid to rest. Because if you look at the historical context of the late Mugabe's life in Zimbabwe, he led this country for almost 4 decades. That would be 38 years to be precise. In that, you don't include the years that he was the prime minister of this country when they received their independence in 1980. So there are those conflicting issues. Then if you've got Thembekile, the political element of it, that he had fallen out with the now leadership of the country. That would be Emmerson Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF leadership after the coup that took place in this country. He went on to endorse the candidature of MDC leader, who is the opposition of ZANU-PF. That would be Nelson Chamisa's candidature to be the president of this country, and went against his own political formation. That would be ZANU-PF. My colleague Linga Ndabampi is just going to pan and show you some of the growing numbers of the mourners that are gathering here, Thembekile, to receive the remains of former President Robert Mugabe. In fact, walking towards these mourners of ZANU-PF who are singing here and who are the choir and bearing flags of the country Zimbabwe.
All right, Samkele, we're going to lose at least our audio connection to you because it is rather loud around you, but we'll close with these live pictures from the Robert Mugabe airport in Zimbabwe's capital, Harare.